Y'all see the tan on him?
Oh,
y'all see the tan on him? Y'all see how he came in smiling?
Yeah, man.
That mocha tan. You see how that says I had an amazing vacation.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? That says I had an amazing vacation. Good double salute to Brazil.
Take me back.
Yeah, I mean, he's the first person that went to DR and put me on the DR vibe.
Sorry, man. I had to make sure this shit was continued.
So thirdly, you haven't hit record. Is it record?
Yeah, it's
okay.
on.
Good. We in there. Yeah.
So
we second.
So we on third.
Yeah.
He said thirdly, you need to quit listening to people that have a victim mentality. So that right there lets you know he don't really listen to me. He don't never.
Because you got a victim mentality, bro.
No, because if he did, he would know I don't have a victim mentality.
But you do.
That's
mine.
But listen though, we are victims.
Literally,
we are victims.
The record shows it.
The record shows. Check your numbers. You know what I'm saying? Check the slave. Check that shit. But you know what? It's not even his fault. Because he don't know that he don't know. See, we all culturally conditioned. But at some point in your life, you have to choose to be woke and do what's right. You know what I'm saying? He's a sheep. He's gonna follow the crowd. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna just say what they need to be said. You know what I mean? Because if he had consciousness and he was a real man, he would have addressed the portion of my post that it started on.
Entirely.
He jumped to the bottom shit. He ignored slavery because he don't want to talk about that. Yeah, let's not talk about that. That was the biggest thing on the screen. The shit that I said at the bottom didn't mean shit. So where was I? He said, "You are the epitome of the American dream. You have worked hard your whole life to achieve your dreams and make your money and realize the true American dream. That had nothing to do with slavery and everything to do with your hard work, you dumb fuck!" See, man, now I don't like this nigga. Okay, because this is good though at the same time, because I have to, you know what, I'm gonna take that back. I'm not gonna be like that. Because this is good shit. Because now we know what these circles are talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is how they think. You know what I mean? And they think that they know us. He thinks he knows about my American dream.
Yeah.
This ain't my American dream, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The American dream.
The dream and the life you living, it is because I fucking close your eyes to sleep and see it. Nigga, you living our dream.
Facts. Say that.
You know what I'm saying? You living our dream. Your forefathers didn't break a motherfucking backbone to make this shit happen. Black people died in merciless ways you would never even understand, because you don't even gotta think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a damaged soul in that type of shit that was happening, that shit gets passed on into your DNA. Google everything I'm saying, because you obviously don't know shit about what the fuck you're talking about. You don't understand the existence that a black person walks is completely different from the lifestyle and the life you walk day to day.
You know, it's crazy that we still have people that think that the black plight doesn't exist.
That's the plan.
I don't get it, man. Like, with all this technology,
if it's not in the history books, it doesn't exist.
With all the technology that we have, social media shows the black plight day in and day out, and they still think that it's something that we are doing, man. Like, it's like, damn, we can't be that small percentage of the population and be that large percentage of the jail, the prison system, you know, the impoverished system, the poverty system, shall I say, and for people to not understand that is something that is systematic, man. And they just think that they think that black people are, I won't even say black people, black women are the hardest working people I've ever seen in my life. And to know that most black women make 30 cents to the dollar for every white person. They make 30 cents to 70 cents to a black male, but 30 cents to a dollar of a white male. And I know that they are going to pour in more to a company or anything that they're doing 10 times over than anybody with a more fair skin complexion. It's crazy to me, and they just still think that we're lazy, man. And they still think that the way we're attacked in in the way that we're policed is just all in our minds. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's not his fault, but it is his fault because instead of you sitting there and telling me what my life is and what I go through, and that I'm American Dream, you don't know what I go through. You don't know that I work. Like I'm leasing from a racist motherfucker right now.
How many rooms you gotta sit in and not say what you really want to say, just to not get out of pocket, man? Trust me,
I'm trying to keep my shit. Like he don't know that. He don't walk.
But he don't have to do that. He can say what he want to say.
Yeah. He can say what he want. Not only can he say what he wants to say, he has somebody in every branch of everything that he can get in the game with.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I feel like we might have said it, and this might be deja vu for me. It's like if White Jamal is in the office and fucks up, it's like, oh shucks, Jamal is slap on the wrist. We gotta teach Jamal how to do this. But if Black Vince does something wrong, it's like, oh, why we got this black dude in here? He don't know what the fuck he doing.
Oh, he about to get fired.
Let's get him up out of here, dog. Let's replace him, dog. I don't even know why we got him here.
Yeah. Like those are the type
for a reason. Yeah, those are the type of circumstances on the surface level that we deal with, and it goes even deeper, bro.
It's fucked up because instead of trying to tell me about who I am, and you obviously don't know shit. If you tune into this podcast and actually, tuned into what I got going on,
he would know you educate yourself.
You should know that that's what I do. I educate myself because you wouldn't know because y'all didn't even put our shit in the history. Y'all gave us about 2 chapters in 6th grade about Malcolm X and one line about slavery. And then you
They talk about Martin Luther King and the JFK assassination. Malcolm don't get no fucking mention in the history books.
I don't give a fuck about none of these books because none of them had black influence in them. So anything that was written by a white guy between here and back when, whatever, bro. You probably got that from a nigga.
Yeah, that's a big
man, I don't even want to say it. I'm trying to make it a dose. This is my place right now for the year. Like I'm
not around me. I say
I'm not dropping this shit in front of white folks.
Oh yeah, we not doing that. We don't do that.
You know what I'm saying?
But around my niggas, I say nigga.
Right.
Fuck it.
It's ours.
Yeah, it's my word.
But yeah, man, that's just ignorance. And I'm like, damn. To me, if you really cared, you'd be like, yo, let me come. Let me find out. Like, tell me what's going on. Let me see your side of the game. What you're saying. It's like, you don't know shit about it if you're not black. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You don't know about what happens when we get pulled over by a cop.
Lord have mercy.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm terrified of getting pulled over.
You know what I mean? The difference between me and you, bro, everyone in my skin color knows when a police pulls over, he could possibly die today.
You know I'm big about stories, and I'm real big about telling my super truth on here. I tell y'all how much money I make.
But I bet you cuss out the police.
How I buy everything, anything about me that has come up on this podcast, I've told y'all the God honest truth. And I'm gonna tell y'all another God honest truth story, man. I might have a little facial hair on my face right now. When I have to cut my facial hair off for certain circumstances in my life, and I cut all my facial hair off, and I'm riding around, my windows down, sunroof open, and I get pulled over in my car. He detail fucking up the live stream. But anyways, I get pulled over in my car, and the cop tells me, and I'm like, why did I get pulled over? And he was like, well,
pull up a chair, man.
He's like, so long story short, he grabs my ID, he finally sees my age, and he's like, wow, you're my age. And for y'all don't know, I'm 30 years old, but with no facial hair, I look like I'm like 21, 22.
With a tank top on, you look about 14.
I traditionally drive around in very nice vehicles. If I'm driving my car, my brother's car, my sister's cars, whatever. But he's like, why are you in this car? I'm like, well, it's my car.
Really?
And
for why you can't have this car?
Oh man, my God. And this is literally what he says to me. He's like, well, I really just pulled you over because I didn't understand what was going on here. And he was like, wow. And he literally left me alone. He was like, oh, you're my age. Have a nice day. And I didn't get a ticket. I didn't get an explanation for what I was doing. He just wanted to know why this nigga was driving this brand new
like
all black Infinity coupe through the neighborhood, and I'm like, and I'm driving from a mile from my brother's house to a mile to my sister's house. I'm around the corner with it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You know how close my family lives to one another.
It's like 1962.
You know what I mean? And he's like,
come on, we need to hear that.
and he's literally, and that literally was the rhetoric of the stop. It was like, just want to know what you were doing over here. And he looked at my ID, saw that the address was a block away, and that I was like, I'm going to my sister's house, and that was literally it. And I, at that point, knew, this is 4 years ago when I first got that car outside, where I knew that what Ye said, man, and I hate to bring Ye up, man, even if you in a coupe, you still a nigga in the Benz, bro.
Exactly.
Even if you in a motherfucking coupe, they still gonna want to
like
pull
the
you
fact
fuck
that
over,
you're
bro.
in that, you got more attention on you,
Man. And the crazy thing is, let me tell you,
like
Eric Black,
like, as if to say a black person is not.
let me put
That's what I said.
Let me put it into another.
He didn't understand.
Let me put it into another circumstance, man. I don't drive around with my windows open because of things like that these days. I don't want people to see me in my car in certain areas because
I'd rather you assume
I'm going to be stereotyped and I'm going to be.
So it's safer to assume.
It's safer for me to not have my windows down. Those are the things that people don't realize, bro. And I'm really conscious about that. I will put my windows up at stoplights because I don't want people to see me, especially cops, dog. Like if a cop was to pull up next to me, I'd pull up a little bit more and I just put my windows up, man. Because I don't want them to. I don't want their mind to start, the gears to start grinding, man, and for them to be like, oh, let's figure this nigga out. So I'd just rather not, man. I really drive around my windows up a lot.
And see, we have been conditioned to be like that.
And that
you
shouldn't
should
have
be
to be
able
like
to
that.
roll with your motherfucking windows. I want you to see who's riding in this motherfucker.
Hell no, bro. I don't do that anymore, man.
You know what I'm saying? But we are conditioned to like, man, I just want to get home.
I just want to get home and not be bothered,
bro.
I swear to God, I literally don't ride my windows down as much as I used to because I don't want to get profiled.
Right.
And they know my girl car. If I'm in that joint, I really don't drive with the windows down. I don't even like leaving the part of the neighborhood we live in because we get profiled a lot. Like why are you in this $80,000 car?
Right.
And,
but see, he don't live that life.
You know what I mean?
He can go and get a Ferrari. He
can do whatever he want, man.
And no one's gonna pull him over. Just like I didn't understand.
No.
It's the same senses as when they seen Jigga on the horse.
Who is that? Hey, cuz, know that
That
joint.
mindset is still here, bro.
Hey, what is?
See, hold up though. I'm saying something.
Yeah,
right
say the shit, bro.
Because things transcend with time, but they're the same. We didn't have cars then. We had horses.
And we wasn't
And
allowed
he was
that
like,
motherfucker.
what is that doing on that stag?
Yeah.
And they were mind fucked. Like literally like,
froze.
this nigga got on, what color what's that?
You got on clothes?
What is that? What kind of
Got
blue
on a
is that?
suit?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the same thing today. He see you on a nice horse. That just don't make sense to him. I got to check it out.
I'm working every day. I can't get that. How you get that?
Yeah,
Right.
man.
That's the same cultural conditioning that is thriving in this country. You know what I'm saying? And like people like Trump love that shit. Cause he like feeds them shit to embolden that ignorant shit.
Yeah, I remember
You know what I'm saying?
Man. That shit was
They love him
crazy
because
to me, man.
he can't even talk with sophistication.
No.
He's very simple.
That
He's a
was-
fucking comedian.
he's
I mean, you
backwards.
saw what I sent you 2 days ago.
Like
He's
this nigga is not a presidential bone in his body, and
Man.
they fucking back this guy.
He said, "You mean to tell me that a very, very good flu vaccine can't help us with this coronavirus?" And they didn't.
They're like,
they didn't even want to
nigga,
laugh
the
at him.
shit don't
They were just like,
So you ain't read nothing.
like,
You didn't read
it
nothing,
was like,
didn't y'all?
it's like
Oh.
not a very good one. Like not the average. A very good influuanja vaccine
That's
can't help
good.
with coronavirus. They
My
just
son
the
would've
room.
said it like that.
The room just got really quiet. And they were like,
Crickets.
no.
And y'all love this guy.
Like they were like, no.
Y'all love this stupid ass dude. Why? Because y'all still mad a black man was in the fucking White House.
Bro, they just
now,
want
what did he say to me about Obama? Look, let me tell you something about Obama.
Shout out to
You know what I'm
Bo, man.
saying?
Oh my God.
I wouldn't give a fuck if he did everything wrong. What he did for the black people, brother, is he let us know, oh, there's definitely no limits.
Hope.
Anything is
Hope.
fucking
Y'all
possible.
see them goddamn pictures.
Like,
we still
a
got
lot
the
of black
motherfuckers hanging
people
up.
tripping on Obama. People want to trip on Obama, but the fact that he made it to that spot.
Facts.
The fact that when he swore in, he had to tell the dude, man, why you fucking up my lines?
Yeah.
This is what is supposed to be said. Like, why you went back? Why you disrespecting me right now?
Mm-hmm. Playing me like
But I already know this. I already know this speech.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you
Like,
know-
I'm ready for everything.
Yeah.
So, to me, Obama will forever in my life get a pass on whatever.
He the GOAT,
because he showed us all what's possible.
man.
You know what I'm saying? While you motherfuckers leaving out the fact that black women are the reason we have a NASA today, which would have inspired us a long time ago to be scientists and shit like that. Like, I don't know, I might have been a scientist.
Man, I say that all the time. So
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna speak on me, man. And not,
But let me finish my
keep
point.
going.
With that being said, like, that's, you know, what was I saying?
Oh, no, I fucked you up.
fucked me up.
By scientists and the black woman.
Yeah, the black
being
woman
NASA,
being a scientist.
You would have been a
Okay.
scientist.
Yeah, it was some. Oh yeah, I was just talking about the possibilities we all could have had we known these great things.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't in our history book, left out on purpose. All we learned about is great white heroes. Whenever you looked on the TV,
great
see the
white hype.
cartoons,
Yeah.
the heroes did not look like us.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But black people, we just built different. We still love Superman. We still love these white motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still know that all white people ain't on this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the point that I have to say to the white people that own this shit, you kind of are, if you're not in your circles, making it better. It ain't good for y'all to just be cool with us and hang with us and don't mind saying, yeah, I got 10 black friends I'm married to one, but like, okay, cool. That's cool. We don't need that. We got our shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, how about you, cool guy that says you understand us, go back to you people who don't and educate them. Oh, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
it's just like the police officer that see the dirt and don't speak up on it. You're complicit. I know you're trying to keep your job. I know you got miles to feed.
We said it
You know what I'm
last.
saying?
We
But if
said
you
it
don't
last
stand
week,
for
bro.
that, fall for everything,
We
bro.
said it last week whenever I spoke about the Rihanna speech that everybody wants to get next to Rihanna, a Beyonce. You know, everybody wants to. They love our rhythm, but they hate our blues.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you have all these people that want to get next to you as a black person that's winning, make sure that they want to get next to you whenever you're speaking up for your people and apply to your people.
Right.
Speaking of your NASA situation, I literally I'm a big Twitter guy, man, and I'm never gonna say I'm on Twitter because I talk some shit on that motherfucker. But I told myself, man, you know, in my circumstance, like I hope to inspire the next astronaut to be a black flyer.
Right.
Is
Yeah, because you're a pilot.
I'm a less
My
than
man,
I'm
you
a-
don't exist either.
I'm less than
They go when they see you in that plane, they're like,
I'm less than
what's that nigga on that head?
I'm less than 3%er, dog. Like I'm in the Air Force.
Yeah.
I'm probably less
Are you a
than,
pilot? You know any pilots?
I'm less
Probably
than
do.
probably 1%er in the.
How many black
in the
pilots do you
military.
personally know?
And you know,
No,
you
we
don't
know
know
one.
any.
We know
you know,
one.
you know, so
We know you.
to understand that, you know, I'm like, damn, man. We look at the Katherine Johnsons that only got bigged up, but whenever, you know, the big studios wanted to make a movie about it. What was the movie called? What was Hidden Figures? When Hidden Figures came out, that's how we got bigged up on that, man. No, we've been in the aeronautical and the space industry, and even just the, you know, going
Just
back
had
to
an epiphany, bro.
going back towards the Tuskegee Airmen, bro. We don't get enough fucking respect for what we
No, we
we
don't
put on
get
the line.
mentioned.
Bro, I look at movies nowadays, and being in the military, I'm in the military. So being in the military for 12 years, you look at these fucking movies that portray war efforts and things of that nature, and y'all, I look at these motherfuckers, and there's never a black person on film. It's almost like we don't fucking exist.
Right.
And we literally,
Like
we literally
same way
put it's on our backs, and it doesn't bother me because I know.
I had two epiphanies. I might have forgotten.
No.
But thinking about what you just said, bro, it's just like the Black
No.
Confederates.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like they fought in the Civil War.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They try to play it like they were just help chilling out. But
And a lot of
they were
motherfuckers don't understand the Civil
they
War
were
was
heroes.
the Civil War is what was in the Lincoln era where we finally were able to not only find our freedom, but freedom was
an idea.
it wasn't
But we didn't get it.
It wasn't even an idea. It was post idea. It was law. And it took the Civil War for us to beat the South. And
I mean, it was long. It was that on paper.
yeah, but we weren't getting the same. We weren't getting the. It didn't resonate like it should have.
Not only did it not resonate, then thus comes the black laws. Then thus comes what was next? It was something else. The industrial prison complex. Then thus comes where they were. And then once they got them as prisoners, they were selling them or renting them out to people to clear land, build railroads.
Oh yeah,
you know
so this is so what you're talking.
Hold on,
Jim Crow.
You know what I'm saying? And Jim Crow, like it didn't end till voter suppression today. It hasn't ended till this fucking hour.
Yeah, man, that's how it works, man. They just translate the narrative about it.
So they try to.
So what you're getting,
like these guys on here.
So what you're
trying to
getting,
change the narrative.
getting at is how we move from slavery to the mass incarceration of black people. So mass incarceration of black people is modern day slavery. It's the way that they legalized slavery, because slavery became illegal, and then they decided that they were going to have an attack on the black man and the black family. So therefore, they wanted to run the numbers up and maintain the status quo of what slavery was. But when slavery became it was basically illegal. I can't think of a better term. Then they just looked to the prison system, and that's why we're going through the prison reform, because prison labor is slave labor, man. That shit is slave labor, bro. Like that is literally the same thing. If you do a compare and contrast, and the middle is gonna be filled up because it's the fucking same thing. You can't pay somebody 15 cents an hour to do something that you have to pay somebody $17 an hour to do.
All right, so let's put ourselves in the white guy's shoes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You born into this existence.
Oh, we playing the devil's advocate. I love it.
Yeah, man, because that's what it's all about. That's what the real do. We gotta
do it for black.
You know what I'm saying?
Eric Black.
Oh, okay. So listen, let's say that to say this. Let's say you born into a white family.
Yeah.
During the, early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you inherit these black people that just do everything for you. They not only do everything for you, when you do something bad, they're blamed for it. They're blamed for everything.
Mm-hmm. Even whenever it's on you, whenever you did it.
When daddy beat up mama because she seen mama coming out that black boy hut.
That hut.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Coming out that hut, and she feel different now.
She walking.
You know what I'm saying? She walking bowling. You know what I'm saying?
Coming from the south, he already know.
When he go in there, he like, damn.
But hold up. Let me finish my thought, because I lose it quick. And so imagine you growing up in this existence, and like you have these servants that are just there, and they do whatever you say, and they treat you like a god, and then like you own them, and then they have offspring, and you own them too, and it's just like you get to do this shit for like 300-400 years. Like it's just in your nature to see this, and like that definitely creates the most laziest motherfucker on the planet. Like to me, that's what slavery represents: a lazy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to do this yourself, huh? They're not touching this shit. And so, but what you don't understand, what you're doing is you're taking the cream of the crop, the first, the essence of the first of us all, a black man, and you're putting him, and a black woman, you're putting him through the worst of the worst. Some shit that was supposed to survive 1,000 years, and we break free from it in 400. Backing up though, like you get all this privilege, like this shit is in your blood. Like it's just like we just still looked at as property, or like to be used. You know what I'm saying? Like it's wonderful that we got these niggas making millions in the NBA and NFL and blah blah blah. But like I tell my son, LeBron makes so much money, son. He's like, I know. He'd be like, Dad, he's like rich. I'm like, yeah, but somebody's writing him a check.
$300,000 a day.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who can write that check to him? Like, is he black? How many of us are owners?
Ownership.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you want to, it's just like the analogy your boy gave to his daughter. It's like, if I gave you $1 million, you're going to buy candy or candy stores? You know what I mean? Like, it's our thinking. We've been conditioned. But like, now we have this thing called the internet, and I think people can just chime in and learn something, but they choose not to. They choose to be sheep. They choose to just follow what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel as if they're losing something. Like, listen, white people. If black people were gonna revolt and like do what the Jamaicans did to them ships that pulled up on their shit, they slaughtered everybody down to the baby. And that's why nobody goes to Jamaica. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jamaica, man. Just left that shit. I can't wait to go back. But like, we're the cream of the crop. We survived the worst thing that has happened to a human being on this planet. We endure shit that you don't even know happened. You know what I mean? You don't know what happened to, you don't know about like them white women or the husbands who were in love with their slave. I'm talking about, you don't hear the stories about the women going to court trying to get a divorce because they man won't stay out that house. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about what happens to the slave who was in love with this daughter of this, what's it called? And she was in love with him. Who gonna catch hell behind that? She not?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you listen to the story of Emmett Till, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they did to this child.
14 years old, yeah.
He whistled. He was out of place. That was wrong because he coming from like what, Chicago? He was always he was just one of those guys that had swag, and you know life was just easy, especially coming from up there. Coming to Mississippi, it's a different story. And so the story is, he goes in the store. He don't know. He's from Chicago. We don't really have this like this. The woman asks for his change, and he puts it in her hand and touches her. He don't know the rules. He green as shit. You know what I'm saying? He just, hey, here you go. You put your hand on, put it in there. And she pulled away. She had a major problem with that. She was going out to the car and everything. They didn't know if she was going to get a gun or whatever. Okay. So him and all his family, they all just kind of dipped. You know what I'm saying? And then, as they were dipping, that lady was coming out. Nobody knew it was going to happen. Your boy whistled.
Say what's up.
Yeah. That whistle. That whistle set forth so much anger in these people that, because they don't really tell you about Emmett Till. It's a reason Emmett Till put the engine and the motor and the fire behind the civil rights movement. Bro, do you know that they chopped this boy's head in half? They chopped him in his face. They gouged out one eye.
They put him through
He was missing another eye. He was missing ears. He was missing all but 2 teeth.
They put him through an industrial fan.
They did more than that, bro. Like, this is a child. Like, how are you as a grown-ass man? What's inside of you? Which goes to my question, like I asked earlier on my thing. Like, what happens to a man mental and, when he's being a slave master? He actually has to, like, I feel like he had to, like, lose love. Like, I mean, how good did you love your children when you would turn around and do this to a child?
You know
what I'm saying? I just be on some deeper shit, like, and so, like I said before, this shit runs in your DNA. Trauma is in your DNA.
You have to look at people that aren't like you as a different being. A lot of times, they look at us as
we're objects. We're still
animals.
3/5.
I won't even say objects. They look at us as animals.
But they were right. We are 3/5.
It's easier to lay. It's easier to It's easier to put your dog down than it is to put your 98-year-old mom that has Alzheimer's, can't feed herself, can't go to the restroom on her own. It's easier to put her down than it is a healthy 18-year-old whenever you view that 18-year-old as an animal, man. I think they didn't view us as people. They view us as animals. And I still think there's a narrative out there in a large group of people that don't understand our plight because they don't understand us as people. Because
listen,
if you saw us as people,
they don't have to.
Why?
That is what you're saying is what privilege is. I don't even have to consider your life.
And why do you think they feel that way?
It's not that they feel that way. It's that they're conditioned to be that way. Just
prior to the
yeah, it was taught.
Gotcha.
And it's just
Gotcha.
listen, out of sight, out of mind. If my parents created, made me live this experience, and like everything's Gucci, they never taught me about how to deal with police. My mama cussed out the police, so I'm gonna cuss out the police.
So do we feel? Do we feel bad for? So what?
No.
Because I was gonna say I don't feel bad for the motherfuckers that were taught that because
the
they should know better.
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Exactly. So I don't give a fuck if they were taught that because that's what.
Look, we gotta take it a step further. As a minority, as the people of color.
Yeah.
Whatever, however much melanin you have in your shit, you know what I'm saying. As that, the first thing we need to do is not give a fuck about what they think.
I just want to make sure because I really don't.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of times I have to.
That's not.
I'm in offices that I have to
trying to convince these motherfuckers for years when we were the one that raised their children. We were the one who put our baby aside. Black women.
Talk your shit.
They couldn't breastfeed their own baby. That breast milk was for their baby. So you black girl, you sucking on a black titty, you motherfucking black. Mm-hmm. And that's what white people with this mentality don't even know that they don't know. And I'm gonna always say that because that's why niggas so ignorant because they don't know that they don't know.
They're afraid to know it, bro.
Listen, white people of America,
Tell them.
Black people of America. At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters. And I'm not saying that on that other bullshit. I'm saying that we are all the, descendants of slaves and slave masters. And that's a fact. All y'all dudes was messing around with our women, and a lot of y'all women was messing around with our men. You know what I'm saying? And experimenting and doing all kind of atrocious shit. And so, but those are the stories that aren't told. You know what I mean? And so, and the cool thing about this whole situation is, black women have the ability to spit out a white child, straight hair, blue eyes, the whole nine. I was watching something on TV the other day, and it was a clip of this show. I was watching Baldwin. I Am Not Your Negro special.
James Baldwin. Shout out to my guy,
James Baldwin. I'm on all your shit right now. God rest your soul, man. You have motivated me this year. Anyway. And there was a clip on there that showed this black lady show up to a school, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for my daughter, let's say Lisa." Mm-hmm. And the lady was like, the teacher's like, "Oh no, we don't have no Negro children here." Mm-hmm. And so she looked around, the white lady, she was like, "No, I see it right there." And so the mama starts walking towards the classroom, and as she's approaching the door, you see the daughter see her mother, and then she cringes. Yeah. And you see a white girl cringing, like. And then the teacher tells her, "Hey, come on, go with your mama." And then all you hear is the other kids, "Oh, wow, I didn't know she was Negro. Woo, 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 woo." You know what I'm saying? And then, like, she runs out, just terrified and embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, damn, Mom, why you show up here? You know what I mean? Like, you just fucked my whole life off. You know what I'm saying? So, I say that to say this. What does it mean if you have a certain race that can produce all colors, all spectrums of the rainbow? And you have this other race that can only produce
one
itself, and that's it, and nothing else. You can't produce a black kid unless you are with a black person. And then what is that person?
Preface that first question again. What does it mean
for a race that can produce all spectrums, you know what I'm saying, all aspects of humanity? If we want to go down the color spectrum, you can just look at my children. I got them all. I got a chocolate drop. I got a red bone. I got a yellow bone and a lighter bone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful, man. We can do all that shit, right? But this so-called superior race can only produce itself. And furthermore, they discovered that the oldest found skeleton in existence. The oldest skeleton found.
Drop a bomb.
Basically, the first skeleton, like.
Where was it at?
It wasn't in motherfucking France. It wasn't in motherfucking Poland.
Exactly.
It wasn't in fucking Russia.
Tell him.
It's where all life started.
Tell them where it's at, man. 'Cause they blow their mind.
Show them and tell them, man, what shit at. Where it's at?
No, I want
Africa, man.
And I asked you to say that again for a reason, because I feel like we need to preface the conversation next week on that. I want to start on the beginning of mankind, man, because we've been taptoeing around. I mean,
we can get to it right now, man. I'll tell you right now, bro.
I think we gotta. I want to hit the surface on it, and then I want to hit it deep next.
But hold up, the end of my point was, what does that say about who gave who? Who was here first?
Are you prepared for what I want to say?
You know what I'm saying?
Are you prepared for what I'm about to say right now?
Are you prepared for what I'm gonna say after what you say?
Because all y'all some niggas.
Listen, if you go all the way back, I mean,
like what? Like that, damn, bro. All y'all some niggas, dog. Like, and that's the sad part that y'all refuse to acknowledge, man.
And they don't.
That's the sad part.
But that's the dope part about these people, man. White people can put all their fucking shit to the side, their personal shit, and when it's time to team up and join arms and like rock whatever way we rocking, even if it's killing us, they gonna rock together.
You know the difference.
And I admire that shit.
You know the difference between me, you, and
they like the Republicans of race, and we the black folks and the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? We got great ideas. We are fucking emotional about the shit, but like we can't get past ourselves.
Yeah, bro. I would say this.
You know what? Hold up.
Go ahead.
We are getting past ourselves.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. If this conversation wouldn't be happening if it wasn't.
I think that the narrative that we push doesn't get pushed by the masses because there's some fear there. You gotta remember, man. Like, I'm sitting back thinking about what we're talking about today. We never took this type of deep dive.
Man,
I can lose my career like having this type of conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
say nothing about the military.
You know what I mean? Like
I love Trump.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't bother me. But for the simple fact that it's right. A lot of people won't do what's right these days because it will fuck up the paper.
It fucks up the paper. I mean, you gotta think about it. Trump is actually having his employees. If you work for Trump, like the jobs that he's giving, he's making motherfuckers sign a like you only fucking with me type clause. Like you were sworn to uphold me. Like
you trying to?
Yeah, I'm civil service, nigga. What I need to do?
Hey, you jump off the porch, double saluting your old lady. Double salute to my old lady because she makes way more money than me, and if the bag stops coming from me, we'll never not live. She makes twice as much money as me.
Hey, but to me that says
I'm
more
gonna be
about
okay,
you, bro.
Yeah, we'll be okay, man.
Listen,
that's why I can
bro.
jump off this porch and say whatever the fuck I want to say. Cause my girl gonna make sure that we gonna survive.
All right, man. You finished caking?
Nah, cause you right.
Go ahead, man. I got mine a little early. Let me get this cake out of the way.
Nah, I'm done caking, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, but a lot of people are terrified of just speaking their truth, man. I mean, like,
no, because they have to say what they say.
This shit can go
you know what I'm saying?
to the wrong form, and the motherfuckers be like, "Damn, is that?"
For the fact that I got my own opinion,
and
my own shit, and my own mindset says a lot. I ain't never been a follower. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all, man.
Like, listen, bro. I'm leading, bro. And I'm only following some good shit you did and adding it to my own shit, making it mine. You know, I don't look up to no one, and I don't look down on no one neither. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was saying for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I still got love for this guy who thinks I'm fucked up. But
that thinks that you need to educate yourself.
But what I appreciate about Eric is like, he spoke his own truth. You know what I'm saying? He let me know, like he could have not said nothing. And like left it at that. But what he did is actually evoke conversation. And that's what it's all about.
That's a big,
like,
he
He might not necessarily like go back on it, like, you know what, man, you know, you said something that was real now. I changed my mind on this, but I still feel like he won't do that.
I hope Eric looks
But
at his
he's
conversation
thinking.
like you do.
He's thinking. No, Eric's an intelligent guy, but he's, it's crazy, bro. When you grow up, it's like you either gonna, go. Because I've seen it all the time. Like white guys that I might have been friends with in school, when they grew up and then they went to a certain kind of career, and that was the thing there, the good old boy system. They changed low key. Now if he catch me by myself, it's like, oh, but if he with his people, if he see me and I'm across the way, he's gonna act like he didn't see me. I'm gonna have to go up to him and be like, hey, what's up? He's going, oh, how you doing?
Yeah.
He's gonna like,
Oh, okay.
oh, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Because he is like, they got this culture, and it's just like, it's just how it is, and that's what I was saying earlier. We're all culturally conditioned, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's about looking at what's right, looking from within, and leading with love. You know what I'm saying? And being a leader. You know what I mean? And not a person who just jumps on bandwagons. Be a listener. Hear what the other person's saying. Like, give a fuck about where he's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you live a life of privilege, you don't even understand what to understand.
Because it comes to you naturally.
Right. And then you just follow what somebody you fuck with says.
That's a fact, man.
And I asked them, they didn't even answer, they didn't even respond to the questions I said, like, so, because he said, man, he said something like, he said something about Trump, like, yeah, he lies and does this and do that. So I was like, so that was like, okay, so you support a guy who just lies habitually, blah, blah, blah. No respond to that. Said none of that. That's what you rock with. Then I said, I don't mess with it. I said, I can't support a guy who acts like he's in love with his own daughter, who treats women with no kind of respect, you know what I mean? Who's a sexist, who's a racist, and who's the biggest liar we have all ever met. And then like the other day I posed this question, I said, would you, if you had a friend that lied to you 1,500 times in the last 3 years, how long? What would you do?
When are you cutting him off?
Yeah, like
how long would you?
What would you do? I said something like that, right? And then some people didn't understand what I was saying, and they started chiming in. I was like, I'm talking about Trump, and I was like, ugh. I was like,
I think I said 1,501 times.
Yeah, I think the numbers are actually in the 17s now.
Yeah.
But regardless, like a person that lies that much, like how can you resonate with that? If you're any kind of religion, how do you promote your religion and supporting him of a guy that says I never asked for forgiveness? How do you sell me on your religion?
Well, you don't have to sell them in a religion. You just have to sell them.
The person that's in a religion that's trying to recruit me into his religion, and I'm like, well, who are you rocking with? Trump? Like how?
Oh, so that's what I was getting at. As far as rocking with Trump, you don't have to sell them on anything besides galvanizing them against us. All you have to do is make them not want to galvanize with us, so therefore they're going to go against everything that doesn't resonate with us. So you just you don't have to prove him wrong. You have to make sure that you prove us to be in the negative narrative.
I'm gonna take it deeper. Malcolm said, as long as they can make the poorest white man feel like he's better than the best black guy.
I want you to say that.
Hold up.
I want you to say that again.
I wasn't even finished. I said, when you can make the poorest white guy feel like he's better than the best of the black guy, you can take right out of his back pocket without him even knowing it.
If you can take the poorest white guy and make him feel better than the wealthiest black guy, you can take out of that back pocket.
You can get right out of the back pocket.
Right out of that back pocket.
And listen, bro, and that's fast forward to now. Then your boy Trump, he takes to the next level.
That shit's scary, bro.
He says to the world, I love the poorly educated.
Because they dumb as motherfuckers.
And then he goes on and even says,
tell them anything and they gonna fucking
rock with me.
Buy into that shit.
Yeah, because he knows that demographic. Because like people want to say
he knows he is that demographic.
They want to say racism is back. No, it was never there. It was always
never
there.
left.
It never left. They just got somebody to represent them that's really gonna talk that shit.
It has the platform.
You know, yeah, but historically, that ain't the place to do it. You do it, but you don't do it like you don't say it out loud.
This is the first time they've had somebody in the most powerful position in the world, and it's crazy.
And he's spewing this language like he fucks with you. He's just saying that because you like to hear it.
And he needs your vote.
This is a guy who was pro-choice, wrote checks for it, all that shit. When they got ready to run for president, his
That motherfucker, he dried the what's the I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. Keep going.
What was it? You fucking up.
I know.
Planned
Parenthood. He cut the Planned Parenthood budget off.
And he didn't even. Yes, you're right. But I was saying, your boy people are saying.
It's my guy.
But no, you're absolutely right. But I was saying before that, when he was running, it was like, yo, what are you gonna do because you're pro-choice? And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, to run for this position, you gotta be about life. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. That goes against like you have to this. You know what that motherfucker said? You know what he said?
I know.
He was like, okay, cool, we can change that.
I remember.
What do I need to be?
I remember that.
We can change that. That's easy.
Just something I need to say.
Oh my God! Like if you don't, and see, and my thing is, for some reason, his people ignore all this rhetoric, but they was on Obama's suit.
Coattail.
Nigga wore a tan suit. Nigga wore a tan suit to the White House. They lost their motherfucking mind.
Who was he?
They better be glad it wasn't me, because I would have painted the White House black.
I'd have had the motherfucker.
Paint this motherfucker black.
I'd have had candy paint on the goddamn. I'd have had candy paint and sprinklers on the goddamn on the limousine. They'd be like, damn, he from Houston?
Yeah.
Is that candy paint?
Yeah,
I'd
would have had pit bull farm.
That mother.
Yeah, the pit bull farm.
Yeah, farm, not just a dog. I have a pit bull farm. I love pit
What
bull.
else we hitting, man? Because I got a couple.
You know, but I probably will say this since you said that.
Oh, we got the OG speaking.
OG talking.
Shout out to, I don't even know if we want to say his name.
Obama probably said in this fantasy world, if I ever become president, I'm going to paint that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But somewhere he thought, you know that saying that, we go up the ladder and then we pull it with us, so nobody else can come up with him.
Right.
He thought for a moment, man. He got up there and clowned too much. I mean, look how long it took us to get one. If he would have went in there and the first day he would have painted it black, them white folks were like, it'll never happen again.
Get this
my
nigga
dead body.
Yeah.
You're
So
so
he couldn't-
right.
he couldn't
And
pull
we're
it.
conditioned to do that because people would throw so much shade on Obama, especially black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Because he did it. And he wasn't perfect. He had the most airstrikes ever. You know what I'm saying? But he at least admitted that he didn't like that shit. But he never gloated about it. We never went on and say, yeah, we blow him up, we got him out there.
Trust me,
his shit was fire.
You guys gotta remember
Who's one of the all-time touchdown makers in the NFL?
touchdown makers.
Yes, Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did he do every time he scored a touchdown? He gave the ball to the referee because remember what he said? Somebody told him, "Act like you've been here before."
Mm.
That's a fact.
But to me, that's some
Obama
bullshit.
acted, but I'm saying Obama had.
But you're right, he was the first.
He had to act.
And that's
like
what
if he wouldn't have.
black people gotta know. It's just like the black folks that was wearing blackface, like, and was doing the monkey show and acting talking like this, something like
They
the
wasn't thinking about what was coming behind them.
But my thing is, we scold them for that, but they are the door openers.
Mm-hmm.
They had to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was us getting on film. Now y'all see we can get on film. We're gonna ride this out for a while because we always hit the scraps and we make the best out of it, baby. We make the best out of it, baby. We know how to turn shit to sugar. Give us the scraps of a fucking pig.
And we're gonna make bacon.
And today these
We're gonna
things are
pork butt.
cooking
Cooking it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We getting off that shit. Niggas,
Yeah.
niggas getting off for it. It's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Imagine if y'all would have gave us that steak. That would have
Would have split the pig up
Ever
a 1,000 different ways.
What?
The pig.
Stop it, man.
Man, let me get into my bag, man. Let me close this out. Man. So I have 5 points. I have 5 points I want to talk about, and y'all can dive into it if you want. If not, then we'll talk about it on the next episode, man. Census 2019, and we always talk about census. We haven't talked about it much today because we had a lot of really great rhetoric between black men and black women here. Census 2019, and we're going to census 2020. Since 2019, $675 billion was placed on the boards. And you have to actually participate in the census for people to know you're right. And you guys have heard me say that over and over again. You literally need to participate in the census. The data reflects what happens within the community. That's my second point. The data reflects what happens within the community. So open your door and actually answer the questions within the census. The issues that happened in 2019 was that 1/4 didn't want to reveal their home details because of whatever they had going in their homes, and I would be
because we suspect.
I would be remiss to say that the black, brown, yellow, purple, all the what's the word I'm looking for? The long night. The minorities. We have a lot going on in our community, but the census is not one of those things that we need to hide from. So as 1/4 of understanding that they don't want to reveal what's going on in their house, just tell these motherfuckers what's going on because we need the numbers.
Let me pause you right there.
What's going on?
Do it online. This is the first time in the history of our country that you get to do it online. So we don't need you to knock on.
We don't have to. So do it
before they knock on you.
And I will make sure to educate myself on the online process. So next week I come with I come with an online.
Oh, that's dope.
I come with what we need to do online, and I know you need it. So I'll have the OG put me on game of what I need to expose y'all to. Part 4 is, man, and I didn't realize this, and I hate to say this, Texas hasn't allocated any money for the census as a state. All the money for the census has been private fund. So I say that to say this. Texas decided not to spend money on the census. California
they spent money on
$154 million on the
closing
census.
Down all these stations.
So they're at $200 million. So last time I checked, they spent about $150 million. So they're at $200 million. And here's how this works for Texas. And this is point 5. This is my last point for you guys, man. And then I have a quote that I want to leave y'all with. If we undercut ourselves in Texas by 1%, we are at risk of losing $300 million
a year.
1% is going to cut us $300 million less than what we are allocated to. So you have to understand that. So and I love it. So please make it a point to make your number count. Super Tuesday happened. It's come and gone. We need to vote for the lesser of two evils. If that's the case, that if you want to take the same stance that me and my guys in the podcast take. But at the end of the day, it's all about dollars and cents, man. If they don't know who needs the money, they don't know who's gonna. They need to have the ability to either say that the money's going here or it's going somewhere else. And I would much rather the money come to us, man. Like Detail said, if you go to your bus stop and your bus stop don't have a bench or a cover of it, man, that means that
your grandma
that
going to this bus stop with no cover.
That means
your grandma.
That means you didn't participate in the census. So man,
that's your fault.
So man, let's not be that 1% that cuts that $300 million off, man. Let's get 3% in there and get $900 million.
You gonna go to the people with the two people home and a little Shih Tzu.
Yeah, and
they feeling it out.
And I felt like, man, I really wanted, and I write stuff down during the podcast. I really wanted.
That's why coffee shop is in the middle of your hood.
Yeah. I really wanted us to close out on, man. I'm gonna say one thing, and I want you to wrap it up, man. You need the darkness to do what, man?
You need a what?
You need the darkness to do what, man?
See the light.
You need the darkness to appreciate the light, man. So a lot of this is, I know we talk about a lot of things that are not the narrative that you guys want to hear about, but it's the narrative that we live. So you understand where we're coming from, understand that we're not coming from it as a place of wanting you guys to feel like we're some type of, We're not assholes. I can't come up with
I
words.
am.
I truly am. I'm an asshole, but we're assholes, but we're assholes with a
love,
with the motive. You know what I mean? We want you guys to understand that everything isn't good, man. Everything isn't green, and we want you to understand that we need you to help us push the narrative for what we're going through. So we go through a lot of darkness, man. So we need y'all to help us get to the light. So if you got a friend out there that is in a position of power, black, white, brown, yellow, and they have and they support the lesser, you know, because I would hate to say it, man, we're not of the majority, we're of the minority. Support us, man. And I think that's it for me. What you got going on, bro?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
You got one more thing?
What
you got going on, Jamal?
Yo,
Everything's been good for you, man?
Everything was good. Getting
Life
myself
is good.
educated, you know what I'm saying? Here in the Texas
Yeah,
state.
you're not gonna pack up your car and drive back to North Carolina
Oh,
tomorrow.
no. We're going to stick it out, man. Make this thing work. You know what I mean?
Before Detail finds what he wants to find out, man, I appreciate him giving us the opportunity to use his space all the time. Him giving me the opportunity to collaborate with him on this podcast. And there's a lot more to come. How you feel about that?
That was great.
And I saw you typed it in wrong. I saw you. So I was like, you missed the key, bro.
What about the last one? Go to the notes.
Unbelievable. That's what I'm talking about. I'm closing out talking about the census. And you got the census guru in here.
That's right.
I know. I didn't know you were the census guru.
You doing it
It's
wrong.
Man.
Yeah.
It's caps lock. That's why. No, it's not good. Caps lock.
It's funny because I put up with white folks down there being the first black person to ever be over the census.
I would have never known that.
And I put up with it because of you. People like, yep.
And
Yep.
it's because of him and you, because you poured into his cup and he poured into my cup.
Boy.
Which is why I'm really interested in it, because I didn't know goddamn thing about census.
Really?
6 months ago.
Yeah.
But if I sit in that chair, he gonna tell me, he was like, because he knows I'm gonna have to sit in front of these cameras with him. And he's going to tell the world about what he knows, so I need to know what he knows. So I didn't give a damn about the census.
What's the recording?
Something funny. Yeah, man. I
Why is it
really,
not here though?
I really appreciate
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, man.
A lot.
That's fucking
So,
whack.
we'll grab the phone.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to. But the phone that is on is the phone that.
That is recording.
Yeah. Let me see. See what's on this one.
Red, like you work at the.
Ooh, that ain't it. Nope. Hold up. Let me see something. Whose phone is free?